welcome to the lockdown sessions. How exciting is this?
Hi, Brad. Yes, it's very exciting. And thanks a lot for this invitation and this opportunity that you give me. And I hope to have this time to feel good, first of all, and second, to come out something that can help people.
I think we're going to do both. You're based out of Romania,
Yes.
and we met via LinkedIn when, just through our network, I observed a number of your posts and really felt that the language and the themes that you were coming up with resonated with me a lot. And I know that's how we kind of first made our connection. And also a shout out to Frank Bazinski, who I know is also connected with you through LinkedIn. He's obviously Romanian based now, and Frank and
Yeah.
I do a Real Talk pod. But as a management coach and someone with decades of experience in management, I thought it would be really interesting to have you come on lockdown sessions and maybe be able to share with the people who listen some of your ideas and insights into that world. We were just talking offline a little bit about how so much focus goes into leaders and
Yes.
leadership. But actually, most people don't rise to a leadership position until they've excelled in the management
Yeah.
positions.
Something like
Um,
this.
so maybe that could be our starting point, because what you do is you work with people to help develop them. And when we first met, you spent some time really explaining to me this passion you have for developing people.
Yeah.
Where did that start, that kind of desire to really help others grow? Because it's definitely something that lands with me, but help me understand from your point of view where this passion really comes from.
Yeah. If I remember very well, this passion came from helping myself. And
Hmm.
that was the moment when I start learning about coaching, training, and about developing people, generally speaking. And we both know that, first of all, we need to understand ourselves and to see how we function in order to help others. So I think that this came from the need for myself. And after that, when I realized how much progress I can get with, and how it's possible to change your life in a good way, it's coming the desire to give to others this. And it's like, the pyramid of needs. First of all, you need a basic, and after that, around you, and after that, you felt the need to give away. So I think that it's coming a moment in each of us life when this should be starting. So you learn, you grow, you understand, you have a lot of experience, and after that, it's the time to give. Well, the ideal should be to give, doesn't matter the moment, but in this development area, this is when it started, when I felt that is the moment. So this is how it's come. I don't know if I if I'm clear or
Yeah, no, completely clear. But of course, having the desire to do something and being able to do it
yes,
is completely different.
yes, I totally agree. And I remember my failures from the beginning because I had also.
Yeah.
And I remember my first coaching sessions with the clients, and wow, what it was in my mind. What I'm doing, what I need to do now. And of course, that we need to continue this path because if we have this desire, this passion, for sure we'll get the tools. I think is first the passion, and after that you will get the tools, because the tools are only to have it in your box. It's much more important to have the mindset and to have the drive and the direction for this.
And that's as well. I mean, you say that, and I hear you, and I think I've worked with thousands probably of managers over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
And it's obvious which ones have that passion and which ones have that desire to genuinely grow.
Yeah.
Why do you think the focus is so much on leadership and not managers? Almost like managers have become the forgotten layer of business.
Yeah.
Why? Why does it happen?
I like how you say forgotten layer. Oh, yeah. So I think because of the business. I think so.
Sure.
And somehow it's normal. And also the general economy, the growth of the companies, of the organizations, and so on. And of course that they need to some point more leaders. It's like, a company that is growing internationally. Yeah. They start from Romania, and after that they start to have offices and sites outside Romania. And somebody needs to manage those sites. It's like a small local business. So they need leaders. This is only one example. I think that's why. I don't know, I think 20 years ago, something like this, it started, this trend, if I'm not wrong. And
I know around the mid to late 90s, the thinking around leadership shifted.
yeah,
Because until that point, I was already involved a little bit in the 90s with management development.
yeah,
And management and leadership development used to almost be the same program.
yes,
And you would have discussions around what's the difference between a leader and a manager.
yeah,
And then it used to be, managers were very transactional
yeah,
and leaders were more transformational.
exactly.
And so the manager gets the job done. It's all about the bottom line, and the leader has the beautiful vision and encourages people to inspire them. And it almost felt as though, the manager's job was the hard work, and the leader got to tell nice stories.
Yeah,
I suppose the question it raises for me, and bringing it right up to date now with what you're doing, what are the challenges that you see managers having, and how do you help them get unstuck or unblocked from those? Because it is a tough job. They've got their own job to do. They've got their teams. Now they're not even co-located because of COVID.
yes,
What do you see as some of these critical challenges?
yeah. First of all, because I worked a lot with first-time managers, so people that get promoted and being for the first time in their life,
Yeah.
managers. So, and not only with them, but especially with them, it's about the way that they understand the role, the new role that they take, this shifting in the mindset. And only a few really, really integrated. And it's like they consider their self being something a little bit more than an operational level, than execution position, which is not helping them. So I think that first of all, they need to understand the new role. They are not operational or technical or whatever they've been before. And they need to make this shift within their mindset. I've seen so many times managers coming to, I don't know, some extreme level, like being too much authoritarian, because they are finding their balance, and they are trying to understand, if I do like this, it's okay or not okay. And during my trainings or coaching, when I'm dealing with a manager, first of all, I'm trying to understand his mindset.
Good luck with that.
Yes, thank you. That's so nice.
But that mindset, you're absolutely right. When we step into the management role, very often we've grown from our own team.
Yes.
And so the mindset becomes even more critical, because yesterday I was their friend and their colleague, and today I have to give them feedback for being 20 minutes late, or for not showing up to the meeting in the right way.
Yes.
Are there techniques in assessing one's mindset? I mean, how do I look in the mirror and know how to shift that? Because it seems to me that's like the key to what you're saying.
Well, I need to have some model. What I recommend all the time, take a model. Take a manager that you like. Hopefully somebody around you. And try to model. Of course, the traits that you like, not everything. And try to try and error, test and operate, test and see how it's working with you. Okay, maybe you see that somebody is late 20 minutes, you don't say nothing, yeah? But see what is the effect of this, or the result of not doing nothing, And also keep in mind, keep in your background of your mind, I am the manager. Here it's working somehow. Fake it until you make it. So yes, I'm a manager, and to be honest, this is what I'm doing also now, because now I'm like advisor, like a consultant. So this is a new role for me also. I need to integrate within myself.
That you are a consultant.
Yes, yes. Even though it's in L&D area, still I have another role. So I need to position in a new way. So I need to understand with whom I need to interact and how. And yes, it's not easy with the mindset. I totally agree. Still, if we are aware and we keep in our mind, step by step, we will see transformation.
You remind me of my first ever coaching session.
Yeah.
So we're going back like 24 years to 1996, and I had a brown folder, and inside I had 2 pages with powerful coaching questions just printed on them. And I remember like asking the question and like ticking the question when I had asked it. And really, if I could go back now, it was a tech company in West London. If I could go back now to talk to them, I would apologize to them from the bottom of my heart. I would give them a full refund and some free sessions just to say sorry. But to your point, I can still remember sitting in the car before I went in, saying out loud to myself, you're a one-to-one executive coach.
Yes.
And they're paying you to be a one-to-one executive. Of course, I'm better now, nearly 25 years later.
It's normal.
Right. But for those early months, I'm thinking, the manager has to start doing one-to-one meetings, feedback sessions,
Yeah.
performance reviews. These are things that they've only experienced and maybe not even from good managers. So,
Yes.
you talk
Yeah.
about role modeling. Well, sometimes it's hard just to find that.
That's
Um,
why I said hopefully around them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, So when you look at management, and whether it's in Romania or whether it's across, Europe as you work with a wide capacity,
Yeah.
what are some of the big challenges managers have when they need to adapt into this new role? They're stepping up out of being an individual contributor and a team
Yeah.
member, and suddenly they're responsible for 6, 7 people.
Yeah.
What do they worry about? What are they telling you they worry about?
Well, you need to talk a lot with them to tell you what are they worried about. But from the follow-ups and the coaching sessions, I realized that also it's about relationship with the others. Like you said before, now we are friends, we are colleagues, and the other side, I need to take some distance from you. And it's hard because generally people have good relationship with their colleagues. And when they realize that they need to change also this, consciously or not, it's also hard for them to do. I pay a lot of attention to their voice. And I remember last week I had a coaching session with a manager. He's looking for a job. Never mind. And when I said, "Who are you?" And he said, "Well, I'm a manager and so on, blah, blah." And when I heard like this, I'm a manager, and he is a manager with more than 20 years experience as a manager. And I said, look, from the way that you said this manager, it's something there. It's something that unconsciously you are telling me that you don't believe this. And we start to explore it from here, And I said, look, like in any job, there are things that we don't like. In any job, I think that there are things that 100% we don't like. So what is it that you don't like about being a manager? And he started to tell me about this with the colleagues, that the top managers, they are bringing you difficult decision, and you need to filter it, and you need to transfer it to your team, and you know that it's not good for them, but you need to put it in a nice package and to try to keep them motivated and so on. And I said, okay, this is something that we need to see how you make peace with this, because this is being a manager, This is another difficulty, by the way. It's like you are in the middle. You sometimes need to implement some hard decisions, some difficult tasks or projects, whatever, that can ruin your team. They can bring a lot of demotivation. Like in this lockdown, a lot of people get out without jobs, get fired, and so on. Who announced them? Yes, the manager. And it's
Well,
very hard. It's so hard because you know that this is a very difficult time. Maybe this person has, I don't know, a lot of duties and family and so on. So yes, this is
you're describing for me, I think one of the biggest challenges In fact, just this morning I was on a coaching session with a leader who manages a group of 70 people. So he has 8 people report direct to him and then skip
Yeah.
levels down.
Yeah.
And he was talking to me about his own boss. How does he reconcile decisions from his boss, who's a senior leader, when not only does he not agree with them, but he knows his team will know he doesn't agree with them. So how is he meant to seem authentic as a leader and a manager when he's saying, right guys, come on, this is what we're going to do? And they're like, but you don't believe that. And he knows he doesn't believe it. And he's got to somehow find a way of letting them know they're right, but at the same time, so he doesn't lose face, but at the same time, he has to deliver for the business.
Yeah.
It makes it almost, for me, it raises instantly the question around, values. We talk about values with leaders a lot.
Yeah.
Having values, businesses talk about their values, and very often honesty and transparency are values that appear in organizations.
Yes.
And yet sometimes we're asking managers to betray that value of honesty and transparency because this is the decision. You now need to go back to your team and tell them.
Yeah.
It's tough.
To be honest, I don't believe in transparency. Of course, it's a very good value. In organization, I don't believe in transparency.
Not if you've got management lines and layers. There can't be transparency all the time because there's stuff that you're told to keep to yourself for a while.
Yes. And people know, like you said. Of course they know. They are not stupid. Nobody's stupid. And they realize. They realize.
The other day, I was working with my office manager, and she highlighted something I had written to somebody, which was completely wrong, wrong. What I'd said, and I was literally going from one session to another. So I just wrote back to her, "You're right. I'm wrong." Full stop, like this.
Yeah.
And she sent me an SMS later to avoid any audit trail on the email. But she said, I've printed off your email and I put it on the front of my workbook. But that, that ability, so as you say, I think there are moments when we can be transparent, but actually it's quite hard. I want to just rewind a little bit because I'm interested in the consulting piece that you talk about. You reference L&D and consulting with L&D, and although you brought it up in regards to your own framing of how mentally you need to create the right shift.
Yes.
I'm interested, in difficult times, training, learning and development becomes far less important, and mainly because of budgets. And I was talking with someone the other day who was trying to reframe learning and development more as a performance-based part of the organization. How do you create high-level performance rather than how do you offer high-level training?
Yes.
I wondered, as a consultant, what do you hear in business at the moment when it comes to L&D? Are people looking for new ways of doing things, or are they still doing it like, let's put a training course together, let's do time management, let's make them more productive? What do you observe as a consultant with your consultant hat on?
Yeah. Like you said, unfortunately, when at times like this, and this is also back in 2008-9, the L&D budgets are the first ones to be cut. So this is what is happening in this moment also. And from what I see, a lot of companies just do the minimum that they need in order to to give to people some tools for development, and is generally is going to training. For example, I've done a training for specialists that they need to learn others. So this is a must do.
Right.
Training, because they need to learn other colleagues, new colleagues, their job. So they keep a very, very low profile, let's say it like this, with what they need to do. And even though they say that it's important, and everybody say, and also the companies, also managers, also leaders, also people, everybody is interested in growing and developing. Still, how many invest in this? Well, this is another story. And in this moment, this is the reality,
Yeah.
This is the market, the best that we can do, and this is something that, about mindset. I think that we need to continue to give. Like I said also in this, I remember this management coaching session. You are a manager, yes, so don't stop being a manager. Even though you don't have a job, even though you don't have a team to be a manager, try to find creative ways to be a manager. Like also like me, yeah, I'm a consultant. Yeah, I don't have to work with all the organization and everything, but I'm doing consulting with everybody that I'm talk in the professional life. Doesn't matter that it's something like you, doesn't matter that it's some mentee that come to me to ask me about L&D and how to be a good instructional designer or whatever. I'm keep on going, I keep on going. This is the idea, to not to stop. If you are, whatever you say, if you are a coach, don't stop being a coach, and take all the opportunity to be a coach.
I agree with that, except with one caveat.
Yeah.
Not with my partner or kids.
Yes. Yes. Not home.
Don't be a coach at home, but everywhere else, live your best version of yourself. For sure. Because no one will thank you at home for asking them 23 open questions in an hour and a half.
Yeah.
What do you want for dinner? Now that's a really interesting question.
Yeah.
You talk about sort of, coaching in a way, I feel the passion that you have for it. How does coaching inspire you? Because you're getting to talk to all these different kinds of people with their challenges, you're listening to their stories. What do you get from that?
Well, what I get from this, of course, it's this satisfaction of when I feel the person has that, aha moment, and when is that shift in the way that they see things, and during time, I even start to feel it, to connect with the client and to feel this. Of course, that you know what I'm talking about, this rapport that we do, and I think that like I said also to my managers in training, when you know that you influence in a good way the life of the people around you, even 0.5%, well, this is the best that you can do as a manager, or this is the best that I can do as a coach. If I know that with, I don't know, a question or an advice or whatever, I can bring some good, small good to somebody, well, this is enough for me.
Yeah, I like that because actually everybody has something to bring to the table. I have to believe this
Yes.
to do my job. And if I stopped believing that, I'm absolutely positive I'd stop being an effective coach because then I'm thinking I've got all the answers, right? So when I'm listening to you, I'm thinking there's something quite humbling. There's a humility, I think, in your coaching. Um, Again, going back to the fact that you coach with managers, and I'm
Yes.
guessing it's an array of first line and experienced managers. You touched on this leadership and management thing before. Is there as big a gap as we all make out? Is the gap between managers and leaders as different as we make it, or is actually it's a little bit closer than perhaps we want to believe?
I think that it's much more closer. I think so. Yeah, generally we have this image of the leader, charismatic, with a lot of passion, that bringing and influencing, and determined, to have a strategy, a cause, and people will follow him. Right. This is generally the image of a leader.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But now I'm thinking, the manager doesn't have to motivate people. Of course he does.
Yeah.
He needs to do it. Doesn't he has to have a strategy? Of course that he needs to have. Um, so I think that the line between a leader and a manager, it's very fine. I don't know how to. I think that we need both, of course, but still they can match very good together. It's like. It's like a CEO and it's like top management, for example. Yeah. Somehow a top manager, it's also somehow a leader.
Well, and actually, I think in today's world, you have to lead yourself. So there's an expectation that everyone is leading. But if everyone wanted to be a leader, it would be simply ridiculous because you need leaders and you need followers. You need both
Yes.
to make it work.
Yeah. A
Uh,
leader without followers, it's
right. You're just on your own having a nice walk.
yeah. And
um,
so he needs to work for this. Also the leader. It's not like I'm the leader, I'm charismatic, and I'm talking very nice and influencing. And after that, what? I stop here? No, of course not.
Look, we see it explicitly. I've never made this podcast political, but we live in highly politicized times right now.
Yeah.
And we can see in the UK there's a general thinking that our Prime Minister is a great leader because he's charismatic, he inspired, he created a vision, and he won a big election. But
Yeah.
actually, as a manager, knowing the detail and keeping people motivated and all these other things, well, the current thinking is he's not doing such a brilliant job at this.
Yeah.
And I think it to me it shows that kind of subtlety, because if you look at how organizations manage process, and you look at how governments across the world are managing the process that we're in, we can see that unless you bring your people along with you, you get mutiny. because most countries across Europe now are challenging the management of the process. So
Yeah.
it leads me to think, when you're dealing with people in the current climate, are people tired of how much effort is required to keep bringing people with them? Are you seeing this theme that managers they're quite stretched?
Yeah.
It seems to me as though in order to manage in the most fluid way, they need to adopt all the same behaviors as leaders do. So to your point, there isn't necessarily a big difference, and yet it's subtle because there are obviously differences.
Yes, you are totally right. Maybe, I don't know, the percentage of, I don't know, being influential with a leader is more. Yeah, maybe with a manager in some situation, maybe it's less. So, of course, that there are differences, but I don't see why not to work together. Not to be these discrepancies. Ah, you are manager. Okay, you are manager, but you are the leader. Uh, like,
Yeah, exactly right.
like
It shouldn't.
me, the worker, the worker, because I need to do the hard job. You disconsider me, and this
Yeah.
is somehow frustrated. And that's why I want to put more focus on this being a manager. Something nice and yeah.
Well, to that point, maybe it brings us full circle because we started out highlighting that you coach managers as a management
Yeah.
coach. But maybe we could start to wrap up with a question of, the future for managers, because you shared with me offline that you're actually looking at building out some specific stuff just for managers to help them with their growth. And I'm assuming that's from mindset to technical ability. Could you share with us a little bit about how you see managers of the future, like what they need to be able to do, and how perhaps the kind of programs you're building and designing can
Yeah.
help them get there? We can shine a little light, like a little PR, on your
Yeah.
ideas. But this is where your passion lies. So help me understand it a little bit more, because most of my space is coaching and leadership, not so much the managers anymore. So tell me
Yeah.
what the latest thinking is, and how we can help managers if they're listening to this.
Yeah. This is another reason that I want to design and bring up this program for managers, to put them in a good light and to show them the meaning of really being a good manager. And one dimension is to be human, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we have objectives, we have a lot of administrative and a lot of on our to-do list. Still, we are working with people. So a lot of focus we will have on this being human. A lot of focus, like I told you also before, it's about the mindset. How they position themselves according to, it's like the system, yeah? We are in the middle. You have a direct manager, you have also the whole company, organization, business, and you have also the team, and you have also yourself with everything. So how we will learn them, how to take this mindset and to integrate and how to think like a manager. Also, what we want to bring in this program is adapted to our remote work. How you manage your team in this work from home times, which is quite difficult, especially if you are in the beginning,
Right.
not managerial experience, not people next to you to see them, so
Right.
it's much more hard. So we want to bring different kind of abilities and to put the basics of some capabilities like agile. If we are not agile in these times, to be flexible, fast, to adapt, we will lose. So also about diversity we talk about, and we have some age, right? No, sorry, we have some experience. So people that are 20, 30 years old, they have a different mindset. And this is another issue that I see, that managers think that people are like them, but it's wrong. And the manager is the one that needs to adapt to the team, not the other way around. So
I like that one a lot, by the way, because I think a lot of managers fall foul of the fact that they think everybody is like them. And if they're
yeah,
not, they don't find them inspiring to work with. So they kind of leave them because
yeah,
they don't think like I do.
yeah, yeah. So we bring to the program this these basics of how to think, how to behave, and how to build relationship, like I said before. So they will have a good frame about being a manager.
Sounds
And
like you have an ebook there as well as a program.
yeah, yes, somehow, yes. And you know what? Like I talked to my colleagues, I don't want to have the word training in our program. I want to be so creative to come, and we have very, very good ideas to build this program with other tools than training,
Yeah.
coaching, mentoring, working experience. And by the way, I saw this this podcast with David from Loop,
Yes.
and he was talking about working experience. I love it, and I said we need to integrate this. Because yes, we need to bring programs that are affordable and for all the managers.
And David I've known for many years, and his passion for what is basically the point of need. When
Yeah,
does a manager need to know what they need to know? There's no point giving them a training session, is his view, because they won't need that for 6 months. So what happens in 6 months when they can't find the folder of 3 trees you cut down to build them a workbook?
yeah,
They need it now. And so I love the fact, and he'll love the shout outs as well when when he hears that you enjoyed it. But
yes,
yes, to his point, right? I love that episode because he was so passionate about the fact we can't even call it training. Stop offering training, he's saying.
yeah, yeah,
Enhance their performance by experience-based development. Make development about high performance, not really cool training sessions.
I
And
totally agree.
Yeah, well, he'll love that. I'll make a little note. I'll tag him on our podcast because of his shout out. Um, Alisa, I really loved this conversation. Time passes so quickly.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
I know from one of the posts that Frank and I put out a few weeks back that your feedback to us was maybe we should try and think of doing shorter times, but we've just proven that you can talk for 40 minutes and it goes like this on just
Yes,
one topic.
I totally agree.
So we'll have to come back and see if we can do something in a 10-minute moment. But give us as a final word, what what is the kind of the hope you give to new managers? They're coming into their roles in this current world. They're detached from their teams. They're new and inexperienced. Um, what some words of wisdom could you share with them that maybe give them some hope that they can do this and they can do it really well?
Yeah. Well, the hope is coming from themselves. First of all, if they accept to be a manager, so deep down in their self, they believe they can do it. So every time that they feel that maybe they don't know what to do and maybe they are not good at it, I tell them, remember that moment that you decide to be a manager. And
Right.
this is your faith. This is your proof. If you decide, so it's meaning that you can do it. I don't have
Right.
any doubt about it.
I like that.
So nobody can convince me about otherwise. Like I said also, if you want to be a good manager and if you have the context for this, it's yours. I don't have any doubt.
So it
And
starts and ends with belief.
yes, like I said, are you a manager? Yes. If you are, go and be a manager. Doesn't matter.
And do it all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
But not at home.
Because no one will appreciate it once you walk
Yeah,
through the front door. Leave it at the
yeah.
front door.
And
um,
like I like to close what I tell also to managers, go and make people feel proud they work with you.
oh, that's lovely.
You know, I have models in my life. I had a very good manager. And after a couple of years, when I start to be a management coach, I give this example, and I said, that guy, yes, I know. I'm so proud that I had this opportunity to work with him. And I realized how much influence he had on me, on myself, on my own development. So go and make people feel proud they work with you, because you influence all the time. Even if, as a manager, if you go to your desk around your team and you don't do nothing, anyway you influence them. So
That's a really lovely pause point. Make them feel proud to have the opportunity to work with you, because then
yeah,
that means you're really walking the walk every day,
yeah,
and that is embedded within having the mindset that you are a manager with influence.
exactly.
I've got it. I love it. Alisa Popa, thank you so much for your enthusiasm for your topic.
Oh, great.
Your passion for managers who struggle every day, and I think we're going to have a three-way conversation on Real Talk. So we're going to get you on a secondary podcast to sit down with me and Frank in the next few weeks as well, and we're going to tackle this topic even
With
further.
pleasure.
Love
With
it.
pleasure, and thanks a lot for guiding me in this discussion. And I know that without a very good coach, cannot go out so many good things. So thank you also for this coaching. For me, this is like a coaching session.
That's brilliant. I think that should be our end point. We'll bring the music in at that point.
Okay, great.
Lovely. Alisa Popa, thank you so much. See you next time.
Thank you, Brett. Bye. See
Bye.
you. Bye.